In 2026, it's time you stop wasting money on single peptide cycles if you actually want to see a difference. Most people use one peptide by itself and wonder why they aren't seeing the crazy results people post about on social media. The truth is, the magic happens when you stack multiple peptides at once, hitting numerous pathways in your system simultaneously. Today, we're looking at the exact stack that overrides your body's natural growth hormone ceiling, potentially benefiting muscle growth and fat loss at the exact same time. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only and not medical advice. Long-term studies on peptides are thin. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional before starting any peptide or medical therapy. To truly understand the potential of this stack, let's first break down what each of these peptides does when it's in your system. First up is Tesamorelin, or what I like to call the visceral fat killer. It's a GHRH, short for growth hormone releasing hormone, originally developed to treat abdominal fat. When you take Tesamorelin, it binds to the receptors in your pituitary gland and sends a massive signal to start producing more of your own natural growth hormone. What makes it unique is that while it helps your body produce more GH, it also specifically targets deep, stubborn, visceral fat around your stomach, essentially getting rid of fat while also preserving lean muscle mass at the exact same time. Next up, we have CJC 1295. Think of this as the base of the stack. Just like Tesamorelin, it's a GHRH analog, but it's designed for consistency. Its job is to mimic the signal your brain naturally sends to release growth hormone, keeping your levels elevated at a higher baseline. You'll notice as you further your research into peptides that CJC 1295 has two versions, no DAC and with DAC. I recommend the no DAC version because it has a shorter half-life. It's safer because it allows the peptide to clear your system quickly, which preserves your body's natural hormonal rhythm. The with DAC version keeps your growth hormone levels elevated for much longer periods, creating what's known as a GH bleed. While it might sound like a good thing for gains, it prevents your body from having those natural rhythmic dips in hormone levels that it needs. Lastly in our stack is Ipamorelin. When you pair Ipamorelin with CJC 1295, you're essentially triggering a larger release of growth hormone, which forces your pituitary gland to work at maximum efficiency. Think of it like this: CJC 1295 is the captain giving the orders to produce growth hormone, while Ipamorelin is the trigger that activates the release when the order is given. On its own, CJC just builds up the supply. But when you add Ipamorelin to the mix, it mimics your body's natural ghrelin response to cause a massive rhythmic pulse of GH right when you need it most. Quick pause here. If you're enjoying this video so far and want to learn more about peptides, consider looking at the free beginner's guide I made in the description. It covers the basics of peptides, the supplies I use for my own research, and which peptides work best for specific goals. And if there's anything you want to see in the guide, please comment below and I'll be sure to add it. Thanks for all the support. Let's get back to the video. Now that we know what each peptide in this stack does, let's talk about why combining them all together works so much better than just using one by itself. When you use a peptide like CJC or Tesamorelin by itself, you're increasing the amount of GH your body produces. But the problem with that is your body doesn't release GH in a steady stream. It actually releases it in waves. By adding the Ipamorelin pulse to the GHRH signal, you are essentially timing your biology. You aren't just adding these benefits together, you're multiplying them. Research shows that combining these two classes of peptides can lead to a GH release that is significantly higher than if you used either one individually. By hitting three different pathways, the steady signal from CJC, the targeted fat-burning signal from Tesamorelin, and the heavy pulse from Ipamorelin, you're essentially creating the peak environment for your body to stay in an anabolic fat-burning state 24/7. Okay, now that you understand what each peptide does and why they work best all together, let's take a look at the potential benefits that come from this stack. The most significant benefit here is body recomposition. When you have elevated growth hormone levels and pair it with an increase in IGF-1, your body changes where it looks for fuel. Normally, when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is looking to burn anything it can, including your hard-earned muscle. But with this stack, your nitrogen retention goes through the roof, which keeps you in an anabolic state, telling your body to avoid the muscle tissue and look elsewhere for energy. That elsewhere is your fat stores. Because of the lipolysis effect specifically coming from the Tesamorelin, your body becomes a lot more efficient at unlocking and burning stored fat. So efficient that it even reaches that stubborn, deep, visceral fat that we talked about earlier. By forcing your body to favor fat as its primary energy source, you're essentially hitting the burn button on your body while protecting your gains at the same time. Another potential benefit is skin elasticity and anti-aging. There's a reason people call growth hormone the fountain of youth. One of the first things users notice is an improvement in skin texture and hair quality. Elevated GH levels help thicken the skin and improve elasticity, which gives you that healthy glow and tighter look. But the benefits aren't just what you see in the mirror, it's also how you recover. Most users on this stack report the best sleep they've had in years. Since these peptides work with your natural circadian rhythm, they help you drop into that deep REM sleep where 90% of your physical repair happens. Better sleep means you're hitting the gym harder the next day, creating even higher potential for your progress. Now listen, I know this all sounds great, but I need you to really lock in and pay attention for this next part. All we've talked about so far is the great things that come with elevated growth hormone levels. And although the benefits are great, there's also a lot of potential risks and side effects that you need to watch out for. The most common issue is holding extra fluid. You might notice your hands feel a bit tingly in the morning, almost like they're falling asleep, or even your joints feeling stiff. This is usually a sign that your GH levels are high, and while it's mostly temporary, it's something you need to monitor and pay close attention to. Another issue you need to watch out for is insulin sensitivity. Constant, high-level GH production can actually make your body less sensitive to insulin over time. If your diet is full of processed sugars and you aren't watching your blood glucose, this stack can lead to unwanted health markers. If this is something you're truly considering, focus on high-fiber greens, lean proteins, and low-glycemic carbs like oats or sweet potatoes. This keeps your glucose levels stable and ensures that the extra GH is actually being used to build muscle and burn fat, rather than causing systemic inflammation. While Ipamorelin is the cleanest of the GHRPs, using high doses or lower quality versions of these peptides can still cause a spike in prolactin, which is a hormone primarily responsible for regulating the reproductive system and immune response. But when elevated in men, it actively suppresses testosterone and spikes estrogen. If you start noticing mood swings, a drop in libido, or extreme nipple sensitivity, that's a major sign your prolactin is too high and your body is struggling with the hormonal load. Either lower your dose, or if you don't feel comfortable taking it anymore, taper off entirely. If you're seriously considering taking this stack, you also need to follow a proper on-off schedule. Otherwise, you risk exhausting your pituitary gland. If you spend 6 to 8 weeks on it, be sure to take 2 weeks off. This will prevent your body from becoming numb to the signal and ensures you keep seeing results long-term. Lastly, let's talk about the best times to take these peptides to maximize results. For the duo of CJC1295 and Ipamorelin, the most common schedule is 5 days on, 2 days off. This prevents your pituitary gland from harm and allows your natural hormone production to stay healthy. Most researchers suggest a dose of 100 to 150 micrograms of each, administered once in the morning and once at night. For your morning doses, make sure you fasted for at least 2 hours before you pin. This ensures your blood sugar has stabilized and your insulin has dropped. After administering, wait at least 30 minutes before eating anything. This gives the peptides enough time to hit the pituitary gland and trigger that GH pulse without insulin stepping in to shut it down prematurely. The most critical dose is the one right before bed. Make sure it's on an empty stomach, as this amplifies your body's natural nighttime growth hormone spike. With Tesamorelin, it's handled a little differently. You should still stick to 5 days on, 2 days off, but because of its heavy focus on visceral fat, it's often used as a single 1 to 2 milligram dose first thing in the morning. Remember to take it on an empty stomach as well, because it can help to drastically increase the rate at which your body mobilizes those stubborn fat stores for energy. At the end of the day, stacking CJC 1295, Ipamorelin, and Tesamorelin is about as good as it's going to get when you're looking to push your physique past its natural limits. But here's the hard truth. These are optimizers, not some magic fix for a bad lifestyle. If your training intensity is low, or you aren't disciplined enough to stay fasted for your doses, you are literally flushing money down the drain. If you're pinning with insulin still circulating in your blood from a recent meal, you're slamming the door shut before the peptides even have a chance to work. If you can't commit to the lifestyle and diet needed for these peptides, you aren't going to see what they are truly capable of. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider subscribing or visiting my beginner's guide for more information about peptides. As always, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.